What up, everybody? Wax Knowledge in the place to be. Back at it with another video. And we have a bit of a hot topic right now. Apparently, new school rappers in the game have been saying that it's corny for MCs to have a large vocabulary. Now, where'd this come from? Honestly, hip-hop was built on verbal skill, knowledge, reading, having a nice big reservoir of words to rhyme with. In fact, if you look at some of the oldest videos in hip-hop, whether it's the movie Wild Style, Beat Street, another classic movie, even Crush Groove, which was basically a fictionalized version of the start of Def Jam Records, MCing was built on having vocabulary skill. And even rappers like Nas on Illmatic, he said with his vocabulary skills, he's ill. And remember, that album is considered an all-time hip-hop classic. And also rappers such as Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, Busta Rhymes, all touted broad vocabulary range, and even down to members of the Wu-Tang Clan like GZA, Method Man, Ghostface, Raekwon. They were praised for having the best wordplay in hip-hop. So when did it go from being praised to being able to pull words out of thin air and weave them into memorable lyrics and hip-hop quotables to broad vocabulary in hip-hop being corny? I mean, make that make sense. And it feels like it's been the last, I'd say, 10 years, especially since the rise of trap music became a thing, where younger artists, young trendsetters have, dare I say, dumbed down the hip-hop experience. And we need to do a turnaround. We need to make lyricism and also being well-read an encouraged thing in hip-hop. We don't need to call MCs with a vocabulary corny. We need to celebrate MCs and even just people within hip-hop for being well-read, for reading authors, whether they're on the New York Times bestseller list or not. I mean, once upon a time, everybody in the hood read something. It didn't matter if it was the autobiography of Malcolm X, The Art of War by Sun Tzu, or even a hood novel like Be More Careful or True to the Game. That's right. Even in the hood, we had our hood classics. I mean, even once upon a time, we read Stokely Carmichael. So when did it go from reading and referring to our favorite authors to just saying that reading in hip-hop is corny or having a vocabulary in hip-hop is corny? We need to turn that around. And we need to encourage not only the youngest MCs in the game, but also their listening fan base to embrace lyricism. Because a trend in hip-hop, along with newer MCs having a more limited vocabulary, is that these younger MCs also have a limited lifespan in the game. And I'm not talking about rappers dying. I'm talking about rappers being relevant. I mean, how many rappers outside of Lil Wayne have a Lil in front of their name and is still making hits? Let alone albums or mixtapes or whatever. You see, the more words you have to utilize, the more you can create. And even beyond vocabulary, the more you learn, the more you can create. The more you have an ability to help resonate with fans. Because you can only talk about making it rain and twerking and shooting and doing drugs for so long. Eventually, you're going to have to create a narrative that resonates with people beyond the trap. And even in the trap, there's more than just merely just standing on the corner and doing what you do. You know, sometimes experiences happen in the hood that kind of catch us out the blue. Maybe one day you're walking through a projects and you see a double rainbow for some reason, maybe after a storm. Maybe it gives you an epiphany of a better tomorrow. And notice, these aren't lyrics that exist in an actual record or Spotify single. This is just something I pulled from memory. Not even of the double rainbow, but of a single rainbow. And this actually happened in my life. Growing up in the Bronx, a lot of people get so caught up in their day-to-day that they don't even stop to look at their surroundings. And having a broad vocabulary helps artists articulate what they see. Good, bad, or anything in between. This is true for not only legends like Rakim and Big Daddy Kane and LL Cool J, MC Lyte, Roxanne Shante. Because remember, a lot of these MCs, not only were they lyricists, but in cases of MCs like Dr. Roxanne Shante, they also happen to be educated. And not only is it the OGs in the game, but then also younger cats in the new generation like Logic. Of course, Kendrick Lamar is probably the biggest example of a well-versed MC with a broad vocabulary, and along with him, J. Cole. Tech Nine is another good example of the benefits of a broad vocabulary in hip-hop and the ability to deliver. And even lesser sung about legends like A$AP Rock. Not A$AP Rocky, A$AP Rock of the Weathermen. So in this aspect, we need to stop shaming lyricists for being well-read and having a broad vocabulary, and we need to celebrate their ability to use said vocabulary. We need to stop dumbing down for the sake of consuming and encourage people to listen and analyze, to pick up references here and there, whether it's a reference to a commercial from like the 90s or even a name drop of an author, like with, dare I say, Jaden Smith. When he name dropped Bell Hooks on one of his singles, I ended up Googling the author. Even with A Tribe Called Quest, they make references to Steve Biko that made me look up who he was. So we need to encourage this in hip-hop and in hip-hop music. Because if we keep dumbing things down for the sake of the 15 minutes of fame, those 15 minutes are going to dry up. And there won't be anything left for future generations. So this is Wax Knowledge, living up to my name, encouraging you to seek and learn, analyze and interpret. Don't be ashamed to pick up a book. It doesn't matter if it's Ta-Nehisi Coates' Between the World and Me, or if it's Sula by Toni Morrison, or if it's a book on algebra, psychology, art history. Just pick up any book and celebrate being able to read. And if you don't know how to read, find someone who can help you. Literacy is probably one of the best weapons in hip-hop. Let's not lose it. So thank you for checking out this video. Be sure to like and comment. Subscribe. I'm going to try to keep up with updating my vids for newer topics. In the meantime, this is Wax Knowledge. Know yourself.